Hello, and welcome to today's webinar on integrating financial capability strategies into your disability programs. Listening to the webinar. The audio for today's webinar is being broadcast through your computer. Please make sure your speakers are turned on or your headphones are plugged in. You can control the audio broadcast via the audio broadcast panel. If you accidentally close the panel, you can reopen by going to Communicate, the menu at the top of the screen, and choosing Join Audio Broadcast. If you do not have sound capabilities on your computer, or you prefer to listen by phone, you can dial 1-855-241-861. The event number is 660-094-194. You do not need to enter an attendee ID. Real-time captioning is provided during this webinar. The captions can be found in the Media Viewer panel, which appears in the lower right corner of the webinar platform. If you want to make the Media Viewer panel larger, you can minimize other panels like Chat, Q&A, and/or Participants. Submitting questions. For Q&A, please use the chat box or the Q&A box to send any questions you have during the webinar, and we will direct them accordingly during the Q&A portion. If you are listening by phone and not logged into the webinar, you may also ask questions by emailing them to me. My email address is amiliotto@ndi-inc.org. Please note the webinar is being recorded and the materials will be placed at the following link. If you experience any technical difficulties during the webinar, please use the chat box to send me a message, and I am Al Miliotto, the project coordinator, or you can email me, and again my address is amiliotto@ndi-inc.org. And with that, I'm going to turn things over to the host, Nancy Bhutto.
Much, Al. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are happy to have you with us. So I want to talk a little bit about Empowered New York City. Empowered NYC is meant to create, test, and promote new strategies to enable New Yorkers with disabilities to improve their financial stability. This initiative will advance financial capability by offering tailored one-on-one financial counseling for people with disabilities, enhanced with new expertise, outreach, and tools, and providing this monthly webinar training series for service providers like you. I really think you're going to enjoy this webinar from our other service providers, and I hope you find it very interesting. So I'd like to talk a moment about our strategic partners. So we have the City of New York, led by New York City Department of Consumer Affairs, Office of Financial Empowerment, and the New York City Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities. Other partners also include us, National Disability Institute, City Community Development, SOSIS Family Foundation, and an advisory board of municipal offices, disability service providers, and financial empowerment service providers. They're actually meeting this afternoon, so we can give them an update on how things have been going. So as some of you know who have been on the webinars for a long time, we usually have several slides that talk about all of the partners. Instead, they are at the end of this presentation. So when you go to the archived presentation, or if you signed up enough in advance and these slides were sent to you in advance, we have about 7 or 8 slides at the end of the presentation that fill you in more about our partners. And now a little bit about Empowered New York City. One of the things that we want you to take away from this is that you are making sure that you're referring the folks that you work with to our financial counselors if they're looking for financial counseling services. Remember, our counselors specialize in one-on-one financial counseling. The services are 100% free and confidential. The counselors can help the person access their credit report, let them know what their credit score is. The counselors have also been trained very well. They've had over 80 hours of training to have a deeper knowledge of disability benefits. And the sessions will be available in all the 5 boroughs in New York City. And if you would like to make an appointment, you can go to nyc.gov/empowerednyc. So before we get started, I just want to talk a little bit about the need for financial integration for individuals with disabilities. And we've talked a little bit about this before. Americans with disabilities face significant barriers to financial wellness. They are less likely than those without disabilities to be employed and more likely to have low incomes. Also, almost 2/3, about 65% of working age adults with disabilities receive benefits from at least one major public program. Some of those programs you'll see below, such as Medicaid, SSI, which is Supplemental Security Income, or the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP. They have rules that are perceived to limit asset accumulation. However, that's not true. There are ways that people can accumulate assets. There are ways that people don't have to live in poverty and can live the lives that they want. So that's what we hope to have these counselors help out with the individuals that you all are going to refer. And the last slide, so before I introduce our first presenter, I just want to let you know that the presenters today, they really recognize that job seekers with disabilities face financial challenges and complexities that interfere with their ability to find and maintain a job. These are employment providers, these are disability providers, you know, they're walking in the shoes that you all on this call are walking in. And what they have done is implemented some strategies to integrate financial education and financial coaching into their service delivery system. So we really hope that you enjoy this. And with that, I would like to introduce our first speaker. And she is Maria Luna Medina. She's the Certified Financial Coach as well as a Social Security Administration Benefits Counselor at ServiceSource Delaware. ServiceSource Delaware has been a partner of NDI's for a very long time, and we're very happy that she's here. And with that, I would like to turn it over to Maria.
Thank you so much, Nancy. I am very happy to be part of this webinar, and I want to thank you personally for inviting me to participate. So I will start with just a brief explanation of what ServiceSource is. So ServiceSource is a nonprofit organization, and our corporate office is located in Virginia. However, I am located in the Delaware regional office. We are a very small state, and so we currently have 2 offices, giving so that we only have 3 counties. And our mission at ServiceSource is assisting individuals with disabilities, specifically here in Delaware with employment and training. So we provide assistance with seeking employment, identifying if individuals are ready to seek employment, as well as providing different training programs. So that is mainly what we do here at ServiceSource. Next, please. Thank you. So we'll be talking to you a little bit about how we have incorporated or integrated financial empowerment within our organization. So in 2015, ServiceSource partnered with an organization called Stand By Me. And this is a joint project of the state of Delaware and the United Way of Delaware, in where the goal of the program is to increase personal economic security for all Delawareans in this state. The program focuses on providing one-on-one financial coaching or individualized financial coaching, and our services are free, they're confidential, and we currently don't have any income guidelines. The person just has to be interested and willing to participate in our financial empowerment program. Stand By Me provides financial services, and so that involves being able to provide our clients with resources in regards to savings programs, loan programs, to help them achieve their financial goals. Stand By Me also provides post-secondary education services, and so that includes helping high school seniors with their FAFSA application, so that is the freed application for federal student aid. And Stand By Me currently is also working within the high schools in providing financial literacy education courses to high school students. We work in connection with many partners in the community, and they also help in connecting our clients with different services and referrals to ultimately help them achieve their financial goals. So an example could be, if a client comes in with a goal of buying a home, I have the ability to refer them to a partner that can help them with all the homeownership process. And so, like I said, Stand By Me is a project of the state of Delaware and the United Way of Delaware. The program is accessible for free to the clients, but the program is mainly funded through grants and other funding options. So when we started this in 2015, we decided that we would incorporate or embed financial empowerment within all of our programs. So as specifically here in Delaware, our goal is helping individuals with disabilities move toward financial empowerment. Our services are person-centered and goal-driven. So everything is related to what the person wants to achieve, what are their personal financial goals. And with providing financial coaching, the model that we follow is that we empower individuals rather than telling them what to do with their money. And so the way Servicers has partnered with Stand By Me is that we have included financial coaching services as well as benefit counseling into our existing programs. And we have also embedded this in our intake process. So anytime we have a new client coming in, along with our intake process, we provide them the opportunity to access financial coaching services and or benefit counseling. So that includes our employment program or training program. So for example, we have a clerical and business training program. So individuals come in to either get a refresher on their office skills or learn office skills from scratch. And so for those individuals that come in through the training, their ultimate goal is to gain employment. So we offer these services to them as well. Servicers Delaware also participates in what we call pre-eds, and that is a community-based pre-employment training, in where we have trainings in the community, for example, Walgreens, that last about a month, and within those trainings, we also incorporate financial literacy, and so I personally work with the training participants in providing them financial literacy sessions to help them understand, why is it that I'm working, why do I want to gain income, and how am I going to be able to manage, my paycheck. The pre-eds, it's a paid training program, and so we try to encourage those participants to be able to think about, financial management. And we also participate in the Pathways to Employment program, which is also known as the Medicaid waiver. ServiceSource is an approved provider under the Pathways to Employment program to provide career exploration, financial coaching plus, and benefit counseling as well. So that is another way in where ServiceSource Delaware has integrated these services for financial empowerment. Now, the services, like I said earlier, they're pretty much based on the individual's goals, but these are some examples as to what I could assist individuals with. So the services are designed to help the individual's financial education as well as their financial capabilities. And so this may include just very basic money management skills. Some individuals have, started with I just want to learn very basic how to count coins, understanding the concept of change and purchasing. And so that is a service that I can provide that can be very basic. Also helping individuals in a discovery period in where, why do I want to work? Are there goals that I want to achieve? Do I want a new cell phone? Do I want to buy a car? As well as understanding banking services. What is a checking account? What type of services I can access at a bank? What is a debit card and how does that work? Creating personal budgets. So first, understanding the purpose of the budget or the definition of the budget. I find that if a lot of individuals don't know the why and the how, it's a little bit challenging for them to be engaging. So first, helping them understand what a budget is and the benefits of being able to plan their expenses on a monthly basis. Initiating savings plans is also included. So I provide them information about the ABLE Savings Program here in Delaware, what that involves, and how they can assist somebody who perhaps is receiving SSI benefits, but they're concerned about saving too much money or not saving at all because they're concerned that their benefits are going to be impacted. Making informed decisions about their spending and savings, and also just understanding the basis of credit. I think just in general, in the community, there's a lot of misunderstanding about credit and, and how to build credit, and the fact that, some people think that things can just be removed from a credit report. And so this is also a very important topic to be able to educate our people with disabilities on. And as I mentioned earlier as well, I also provide community referrals. So if my client has a need in where I'm not an expert on, I make sure that I can connect them with the appropriate resource in the community to be able to help them. Next, please. Now, the Social Security benefit counseling that we provide, so I am a certified community work incentives counselor, and our services are designed to provide individualized work incentive counseling to individuals that are interested in accessing employment, and so for them to understand how is employment going to impact or could possibly impact my health care and other benefits. So within our benefit counseling, we verify individuals' benefit status and information, and so we do that through a benefit plan inquiry, or also known as the BBQY. We provide extensive information as to the status of their benefits, as well as work incentives. So the work incentives planning involves helping individuals understand these are the incentives that Social Security offers to be able to help me initiate employment without losing my benefits right away. Or these are the things that I can report to Social Security that could help in maybe reducing the amount of income that is counted. And we also provide assistance in terms of what are their income reporting requirements, also working with family members because a lot of our clients do receive a lot of support either from a parent who is a representative payee, and so there's also it's very important to include them in this part of the process. So this is what our benefit counseling involves, and we have also embedded this as part of a service in all of our programs. Now, financial coaching and benefit counseling can be offered individually, meaning separate, or we could also provide these services in combination with each other. So, and we find that this is very critical, especially for the disability community. A lot of individuals do receive disability benefits or other benefit programs, and they also have financial goals that they would like to achieve, like establishing savings, buying a car, buying a home, building credit, getting employment. And the fact that they're receiving benefits sometimes tends to, bring upon this fear that, I'm afraid of, seeking these goals because I don't want to lose my benefits. And so we find that it's very important to combine these two services. For example, if there's an individual, like I said before, that receives SSI benefits and they're interested in savings, if a financial coach is not aware of the resource limits under SSI rules, it could be very easy to mislead the individual. And so being able to provide information about the ABLE Savings Program, it is something very critical to share with individuals. So what are some of the benefits of integrating financial empowerment? There's a lot more than what I have here, but the fact that individuals can receive information on resources available to them in their community, as well as tools that can help them build a financially fit future. Initially you may just begin with, helping individuals discover why do they want to work, what are some of the goals that they have in mind, what do they want to achieve, where do they see themselves in the next 3 or 5 years. And so allowing them to kind of discover this and that they have the ability to meet those goals is very important. This also promotes inclusion and self-determination. So this allows the individual to be able to set individual goals, individual milestones. A lot of individuals sometimes with disabilities, because of the circumstances, may end up having to rely a lot on what their parents can assist them with financially, and so sometimes they may feel that they can't do this on their own. So this is a great benefit of why integrating financial empowerment can make a significant difference in their lives. So this also empowers the individual to have a voice in money matters that impact their life. Again, it goes back to why do I want to work and why do I want to meet certain financial goals. It also eventually helps them determine their future goals and realize the impact of employment can have on helping attain their life's aspirations. It could involve helping them analyze, yes, if you do go to work, maybe part of your benefits will be reduced, but ultimately your total financial outcome would be a lot better than just relying on disability benefits. So the importance of working and how that could benefit their life is also a benefit that they receive from participating in these services. Also, it's even though this is a reality that many people with disabilities do not have an opportunity to maybe at some point in time create a budget or open a savings account, they've never applied for a loan, maybe they've never initiated any assets or investments, or never had the opportunity to actually understand how their disability benefits work, what the rules are when it comes to engaging in employment. So this is very critical, as a very critical step for individuals with disabilities. I personally believe, like all Americans, we all could benefit from working with a financial coach that can be there as our guide, as our support, and helping us kind of walk in this path of, identifying our financial goals. But for people with disabilities, this is especially critical because we know that, they face specific barriers to with employment, and just, with sometimes the difficulty of understanding disability benefits as well. Financial literacy is a big step toward starting a better financial future. So I think that includes all my presentation. Here is my contact information if you wish to contact me with a specific information about our financeability program. Like I said, it is a partnership that we started in 2015 with the Stand By Me program in Delaware, and our focus is serving the disability community in providing them financial coaching services and benefit counseling as well. Thank you so much, and so now I will pass it back to Nancy, who will introduce the next speaker.
Thank you so much, Maria, and thank you for all that you're doing. Congratulations for all the great work. I really think it's fantastic. Thank you for sharing it with us and the participants on the webinar.
Thank you.
All right, so our next speaker is Stephanie Antkowiak. She is the Executive Director of the ARC of High Point, and that's High Point, North Carolina. She is a very strong partner of National Disability Institute, and we're very happy to have her here. And with that, Stephanie, I will turn it over to you.
Hi, this is Stephanie Antkowiak, and I am in High Point, North Carolina. And to give you a little context, our city is about 110,000 folks, but we're in a larger county that covers about 500,000 folks. So we are in a smaller area, but we have worked very closely with the local city of High Point, and we do several projects together. Primarily, we work through the City of High Point Community Development and Housing Department, and we work with them on community block grants for several of our programs. And they help families who are trying to buy their first home through the Family Self-Sufficiency Program, as well as helping them budget and get ready to purchase a home. They also have quite a few other opportunities that they offer families, like financial counseling, education, job training, the home ownership counseling, and then household skills training. Here at the ARC of High Point, we have, over the last 2 years, been helping families become educated, primarily with our group that's coming through our ARC at Work program, our employment program. And we encourage them to start learning or educating about their benefits. We find that we find that there are a lot of misconceptions about working and about having a sustainable income and losing their benefits. So not only are we working with self-advocates who are looking for employment, their families, but we're also encouraging other agencies like the school system to try and help folks understand that there are ways to keep your benefits and still work and have gainable employment. So we offer classes in budgeting, banking, and the ABLE account, credit and credit counseling, employment, income tax preparation, the earned income tax credit, we talked quite a bit about that, Social Security work incentives, financial education, and asset development. So financial stability for people with disabilities, as more and more of our individuals with disabilities enter the workforce, it's really important to give them the tools to gain that financial stability. I feel like that is also true for any young person who's entering the workforce. But we work on breaking down budgeting and paying bills, how to gain a checking and savings account, and choosing wisely where they go to find those services, whether it's close to their home or close to where they work so that they're able to get to the bank. Also, how to manage the Social Security work incentives and managing those SSI benefits to make sure that they are reporting them properly and that they understand how to do that themselves. We work with families in the beginning on that, but we also encourage the self-advocate to learn to do that as well. And ABLE accounts in the Special Needs Trust, we do quite a bit of training around the North Carolina ABLE accounts, and we work very closely with some local attorneys who help our families through the Special Needs Trust process. And then what we're going to talk about today is the income tax preparation and earned income tax credit, and we also work very closely on housing choices as well. So we have had a great partnership with the City of High Point, and they, for the past 12 years, have hosted the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, or VITA. They've partnered with local nonprofits in the High Point area to host the VITA clinics. And last year, we started very slowly to become one of those sites. This year, we've had a few more. And so we actually have a clinic going on today. And we have folks who come in to have their tax returns completed by us. Their income limit is $55,000, and we also work with them if they need to have their tax returns filed or deposited into an ABLE account. We have information to help them set up an ABLE account here on site. So on average, the High Point VITA locations have less than a 5% IRS rejection rate. We're very qualified and know what we're doing. The High Point VITA people, they help apply for the Earned Income Tax Credit. It's the largest federal support program for low-income individuals, and the EITC can be an important tool for people with disabilities to improve their economic status or start gaining assets. So the income limit for 2018 is that $55,000 I mentioned before, and after 12 years, we've had over 5,000 tax returns have been processed, and the refunds are over $5 million to date. So, of course, we've heard a little bit about the ABLE accounts, and we partner with the North Carolina ABLE account staff, and we have posters and flyers. We're able to help families walk through that process. We do trainings throughout the year, especially as we're encouraging young folks to work. We feel that this is an important tool for them to be able to use so that they can gain assets and not lose their Medicaid benefits. So what we actually are doing are helping them learn to fill out their tax returns and then deposit them safely without the threat of losing their Medicaid benefits. So I'll turn it back over to Nancy. And thank you. My information will be at the end of the slide.
Thanks, Stephanie. That was great information. So glad that you talked about ABLE accounts. As the people on the phone or the webinar know, New York also has an ABLE program, and we did a webinar a couple months ago on that. So if anybody would like a refresher, they can go to our archives, and they can also go to YouTube, and they can look at those PowerPoints and look at those documents. So thanks very much for that. Before I introduce Jody, I just wanted to mention one thing because I saw a question in chat, and the question was about the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. And I do not have an answer right off the top of my head, but I do want to let everyone know, and we'll let you know later in the presentation as well, that next month, as you know, we have these webinars monthly. Next month is going to be on New York City housing. So that will be a great time to talk about family self-sufficiency. So thank you very much for that question. And with that, I would love to turn it over to Jody Ellis. She's the Vice President of Workforce Services at ARC Broward. That's in Broward County, Florida. And Jody and Broward ARC have been a long-term friend of National Disability Institute. So thank you very much, Jody, for being here, and I will turn it over to you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here today. Thank you for inviting me to participate in the webinar. As Nancy mentioned, I work for ARC Broward, and we are located in Southeast Florida in the Fort Lauderdale area, and our service umbrella serves one county, which is Broward County. In terms of who we serve, ARC Broward is a community service agency that supports people with disabilities and other life challenges. We have been around for over 60 years. So we have 20 different programs and services at ARC Broward, but today, for the purposes of this webinar, I'm going to talk specifically about our ARC Works program and how we integrated financial strategies into those services. So in the ARC Works program, we serve people with disabilities and other life challenges. We serve about 170 individuals a year, and we serve around 100 or so at any given time. And we want to make sure that we're supporting individuals that are motivated to work and are motivated to improve their financial well-being. The goal is to help participants achieve self-sufficiency. Many participants have an overall goal of obtaining employment as a way to achieve self-sufficiency, but they may also have a goal for post-secondary education or other types of advancement to achieve this overriding goal. Our strategy, and this is a typo on the PowerPoint, our strategy has been implemented since October of 2013, not 2018. So we have been implementing the strategy for about 5 years. And the strategy is we believe in bundled services, we believe in long-term supports, and we follow a model called the Center for Working Families. And really that model is talking about the bundled services approach. So our services and the bundled services that we have, I call this slide the trifecta for success. And we are supporting individuals in any combination of these three strategies. So we offer workplace supports, and I'll go into more detail about a description of each of them, but the workplace supports are basically the traditional services that we have been providing to individuals with disabilities in our community for a very long-term basis. The post-secondary education and training and the financial fitness classes were what was added in October of 2013 to kind of support this new model or new approach that we have. And we ask individuals to participate in any combination. We just ask that they participate in 2 or more. So they may come in for job placement assistance, or what our funder might call as job development, and then they would select another service category to have this bundled services approach. So I'll start with giving you examples of some post-secondary education and training that we offer. We have weekly social skills, or what's often referred to as soft skills classes. Examples could be teamwork, negotiating conflict, a lot of different types of communication skills. We also have workforce readiness training. So for this aspect, we do resume or portfolio development. We do a lot of interview preparation and practice, assist people with job searches, assisting with filling out and completing, submitting applications. We also offer 3 different training courses. One is an entry-level culinary arts program. It's a 420-hour course. It generally takes about 4 months to complete. And this is a certificate program that is recognized by the Florida Department of Education. And individuals who successfully complete the program, they have a lot of safe food handling practices, or they get a safe food handler certification. They learn knife skills. They learn first in, first out procedures. They learn all about different sauces and food identification, and basically how to work in a commercial kitchen. It prepares them to enter the workforce in the food service industry. Our material handler program is a 248-hour course. It generally takes about 3 months to complete. It's an occupational skills training program. And in this course, we're helping people to work in a warehouse or distribution or a light industrial type setting. And they are learning OSHA, safe work practices, how to work with typical industrial equipment, whether it be a forklift, shrink wrap machine, pallet jack, things like that. And then our last training course that we offer is called DS Paths. This is a model and a curriculum based out of Ohio, and it is preparing individuals to be professional caregivers and to work and support people in need. And the topics in this particular class are documentation systems, inclusion practices, introduction to disabilities, health and safety, behavior supports, advocacy, ethics. There's a bunch of different topics in that. So the next category of service would be our workplace supports. And again, these are traditional services that we have been providing for a very long-term basis, but we do job placement assistance, we do job coaching, we do ongoing job follow-along services, we assist individuals with career advancement opportunities, and those are the services that we're providing directly to the participants that we serve. But on the opposite side of the coin, we are also providing consulting services or technical assistance to the employers that are hiring from our talent pool. And then the purpose of today's webinar is really to focus a little bit more on our financial fitness strategies that we have integrated into our service delivery system. As with other presenters on today's webinar, we do provide, we are a member of AIDEN, an employment network to offer Ticket to Work services, and that does include the benefits planning that was already discussed. And we will provide financial coaching services as it's identified or as it's desired by the individuals receiving services, and both the benefits planning and the financial coaching, that is offered on a one-to-one basis. Then we also offer a computer lab. We have a computer lab on a regular basis 2 times a week for 2 hours each time. And then we also have a computer lab available by appointment. And in the computer lab, they have access to websites and apps and other programs that they may need some technical assistance with. So our computer lab is always staffed to provide the level of support or technical assistance needed. And we have had the opportunity to access a program called LifeSense, and that is basically a financial education program that will help people with, to give insights about their financial health and well-being. So that program has been implemented. And then we also offer weekly classes with a variety of different topics. And I'll go over a few examples of what some of those topics were. But first, what I'll do is I'll talk to you about our implementation of the financial fitness strategies. We offer the courses in 1-hour increments, and we offer the courses back-to-back with another service session. So generally what we do is we will offer an hour of soft skills or social skills training, and then take like a 5-minute break, and then offer an hour of the financial education. We offer the classes at varied times and days each week. We actually have classes Monday through Thursday, and what we have done over the years, this has changed, but we have learned since we started it in 2013, is we now have cohorts of similar peer groups, and we offer the classes in those cohorts. So an example is a new participant entering our program. They will have a cohort for at least 4 weeks with other new participants. Then we have a career preparation group, and we actually have a couple of cohorts of career prep, and they are taking their classes together. We also have a workforce group. We offer 2 classes each week for the workforce. So these are for people who are employed but need or would benefit from financial education. And then we have cohorts for people that are in those skills training classes, the culinary arts and the material handler. We want to make sure that the education is interactive, and we incorporate technology whenever possible, and we use a variety of different curricula and supplemental resources. So we don't really stick, we do have a primary curricula that we use as a guide, but we supplement it with lots of different resources and other curricula. And we use guest presenters or topic experts whenever possible. So we do get a lot of guest presenters from financial institutions in our area. Many are employee community partnership liaisons, and they are always willing to give guest presentations for us. The next topic or next slide, it gives some sample topics of just the different types of financial education that we offer: basics of baking, developing a spending plan, options, many different ways to save. We have multiple topics on savings. We do talk about identity theft basics so that our program participants are not financially exploited. We talk about reading a paycheck, the importance of shopping around. Those are just some variety of what we offer. And next, I'll just give, this is just a sample of one-hour topic that we would offer. We use, there is a PwC charitable foundation. They have a Earn Your Future Digital Lab, and this module title was Learn to Earn, and the topic was related to income and careers. But in this particular module, we would talk to program participants about what it means to earn income and how to build a career, talking about what a career is, explaining the benefits of having or building a career, talking about the difference between a wage and a salary and commission. We talk about career clusters or career interest surveys. And then also in this component, it includes a brief discussion of entrepreneurship and just the general risks and rewards that could come along with that type of career. So that's just one example. And I talked about the importance of making it interactive as much as possible. We do implement games whenever it's appropriate to do so. So I just listed some of the games that we would play or facilitate. Money Metropolis, that's by Practical Money Skills for Life. And I would say that Practical Money Skills for Life is one of our main curriculums that we use, but we do use others. There's financial education crossword puzzles, there's financial soccer and financial football and many others. There's games called Wise Pockets, and then of course some traditional board games that we all know, Monopoly and Life, and then some others, Charge Large, Payday, and Cash Flow 101. So the goal for us is just to make it as interactive and as fun yet educational as possible, combining it with another service back to back, putting them in similar peer groups, anything to increase their participation and help build their motivation to build their financial success.
That was fantastic, Jody. Thank you so much. So before I get into our action items, and then we do have a few questions as well, I just want to touch on a few things. Maria, I thought it was so great that you were talking about, the fact that you are a, certified work incentive coordinator, and that you guys do work incentive planning, income reporting, and tracking income, because I think that's so important. And as you were saying, there are people that just don't realize that they can earn more money than they ever thought they could. So I think that's important. That was fantastic for you to share that. Thank you. And Stephanie, the classes that you have in budgeting and banking and employment and the earned income tax credit, and again, Social Security work incentives, I don't think we can get enough of Social Security work incentives because they're so difficult to understand that I think if, people hear them 100 times, that's not necessarily a bad thing. So I'm so glad you guys are doing that. And Jody, I love the flexibility in terms of how you're offering your classes. I just think that's fantastic. You guys have really given us some good information, and I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, I'm going to get through a few more slides, and then we'll get to some questions. So action items for those of you on the call, on the webinar, please have a discussion within your agency to see if incorporating financial capability strategies is right for you. And also research free tools and services that you can incorporate into your employment programs. And our next slide will give you some of those resources. And then, of course, contact us, Empowered NYC, for more information. So a few resources here. Each of the speakers gave you resources as well, and I've got a few of them written down. I want to look up some of those games, Jody. But I also wanted to offer a few more, and the first is Money Smart. Money Smart is a curriculum from the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. they have many versions. They have a youth version. They have an adult version of becoming money smart. They also have a version for older adults, and I'm pretty sure they also have one for individuals who are interested in starting their own business. And they have 7 or 8 modules that teach people all about being smart with their money. And you can get it in print form, you can get it electronically, on disk, 100% free, and a very good tool. The other is Your Money, Your Goals through the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That helps people kind of get the money conversation started. Talks about budgeting and savings. And they also have a disability supplement specific for folks with disabilities and working with folks with disabilities. And then lastly, National Disability Institute, we have a good amount of resources on financial education. We've got tools, webinars, fact sheets, quick reference guides, lots of free information. So those are some good resources there in addition to the one that the speakers gave you. So we hope that you'll take a peek at those. And of course, you can always get in touch with myself, Nancy Bhutto, or Wanda Lopez from OFE, Crystal Rivera from OFE, or Abby Mayerhoff from MOPD. And having said that, I know we don't have too much time, but there was a great question that came in, and one of our NDI staff who is watching those questions did answer the individual, but I just thought it was kind of a great question to bring up to everybody. And then any of our speakers, feel free if you'd like to touch on the subject. But the question is this service available to individuals with limited intellectual disabilities who maybe have an advocate, or somebody who supports them in managing their finances? And I know you all do that, but would you like to speak to the question at all?
Nancy, it's Maria.
Thanks, Maria. Go ahead.
Yeah, so for the majority of my clients, other support persons or their family members are very involved in the services that I provide to the client. So one of the things that I mentioned in the presentation is that a lot of times for individuals, if they have intellectual or cognitive disabilities, they may need just very basic financial coaching, and that is something that we do provide. So, so that could be just starting with counting coins, understanding coins, their value and how much they're worth, understanding change and how to make purchases. So that is something that I do provide. I primarily provide that through our Pathways to Employment partnership through the Medicaid waiver.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maria.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else want to chime in?
This is Stephanie at the ARC of High Point. Most of the participants that we are assisting do have an intellectual or developmental disability, and we have taken our training modules and modified them so that they're getting all of the information along with their staff or family member, and our goal is that they too will be able to take the tools that we're giving them and learn to manage their finances to the best of their ability, whether it's, getting a bank account and learning to use a debit card or learning money math as well, but so that they have a greater understanding and be able to guide their services and guide their money on their own. That is one of our top goals. But staff and families are always welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Yeah, that circle of support can certainly be vital to people's success. We have a minute left. Jody, is there anything that you'd like to say on that?
Yeah, we do the same thing. I would say any family members or support networks are invited or can attend any of the financial education classes that we offer. And when we're doing the one-on-one services, if someone does have someone who is supporting them in that area, we really encourage their participation in those sessions as well.
Great. Great. Thank you all very, very much. I really appreciate your time, and I want to go on to the next slide and just close us out by letting people know that please join us for our next training, and that will be, I'm sorry, I was going to say next Tuesday, but no, it is Tuesday, April 9th from 1 to 2 p.m., and the topic is going to be housing as a key stepping stone to financial stability for people with disabilities. So I feel like I planted that person in the chat box who asked about family self-sufficiency, because that's something we will be talking about. So please join us next month. The registration is there. As you know, we would love for you to take our survey and give us your feedback. And again, I just want to thank our 3 presenters for some absolutely wonderful information. Thank you for your time, and thank you to all the participants, and have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.